Two Girls, One Pod, recording on Wurundjeri country. I've got a guest this week that you're going to love. We already do love. I love her, you love her, we all love her. Let's put our hands together for the love of Bonnie Anderson. She's eating sultanas.
I've got a mouthful of sultanas. They're delicious. Who would have thought?
That's why I don't start on the sultanas because you can't stop. And people always go, ooh, to sultanas.
Until they put them in their mouth.
That's right. That's right. And there's nothing better than a sultana in your porridge.
Isn't it amazing?
With some honey and
yes.
brown sugar. Oh, you don't even need the brown sugar because there's your brown sugar right there.
Well, it's super, it's got a lot of sugar going on.
Yeah, but
that's why you can't stop.
Yeah, they can't stop, won't stop.
How are you, Yvie?
I'm good, my love. How are you?
I'm so good.
So last time I saw you, you were a single woman, child-free. Now you are almost married, have a child, have a fiancé, have a home that you've, oh my goodness, this house. I love renos.
Isn't it cool?
I hate doing them. I grew up in a reno in the house.
Yeah.
Love to watch.
Yes, I can relate to that, the hating the in-between parts of it.
At least you're doing it quick because your fiancé, Sam, is a landscaper,
He's a landscaper.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we have lots of friends, family that's, builders, all the things. So we kind of had a whole crew come together and we, I feel like we did what everyone does when they're pregnant and renovates, Yeah,
why do you crazy people do these things?
I don't know if it's a nesting thing or...
It is. It must be.
It must be. But I spoke to so many people and they're like, oh my God, I did that too. It's wild. But nothing like a bit of pressure to get shit done. While you're pregnant.
Looks incredible.
Thank you.
I love that you put little after shots. Before shots.
And afters.
Because the before and afters are the best. But I could just look at your afters, But at the end of your
satisfying, right?
it's so
it's so satisfying. But it's so nice. We live down near the beach. It's good for the bub. Bobby loves it.
The peninsula, you're down that peninsula way, and it is one of the most beautiful spots in Australia.
It is.
I truly believe, that sand and that water down there, and the people are just lovely.
It is. It's like a little getaway, but we live there, so we're lucky. We're really lucky. It used to be, we'd go down every summer with my family.
Oh yeah,
and
so
now,
it's great
now
memories for you.
Yeah, it is really good memories, and just going to create some more.
Oh, I love it because I grew up on a beach, and
did you?
It was an hour and a half north of Sydney, so it was very similar to
where did you
Melbourne.
grow up?
Central Coast.
Oh yeah, right.
Well, I was
right.
northern beaches until I was about 9, and then
beautiful.
So a bit of both, but it's just Bogan Bay. It's just Bogans on the beach. They used to call it Blacktown by the beach. It was just a lot of people in black.
Right.
Like metal death. You'd always see them everywhere. And they weren't into beaches, but they had to move they didn't have to, but you either lived where it was cheap out the west of Sydney.
Yeah.
Or you cottoned on and went north, which was the same as far as transporting into the city goes. Same.
Right.
Same, because you're stuck in traffic the whole time.
Yeah.
God, my God, how boring. Can I ask you?
Yeah, ask away.
You're about to get married.
Yeah.
Boring to me.
Yeah.
I want to talk about just you.
Let's talk about me. Let's do it.
No, congratulations.
Oh,
you
thanks,
just tried
Yvie.
on your wedding dress, and that is really exciting.
It's honestly so exciting. I mean, Mum was there.
Yeah, well,
I've
that's
got Jason.
It's a traditional family thing that is beautiful.
And I love the traditions. I mean, I'm not doing everything traditional. No way. No.
Good. And your mum and dad are walking you down the aisle. That's different. See, that's beautiful.
I mean, why wouldn't I do that? Mum and Dad
you're going to bawl your eyes out.
Oh, no. Anyway, it's going to be amazing. The countdown's on. Bobby's going to steal the show, obviously. My little son, he's 9 months old. He'll be 11 months old. So
boy?
I'm not going to put that pressure on him, of course. Except I have got the walk around. Come on, let's do some practice.
Let's practice. Don't give him the rings, whatever you do.
Oh, no. We won't be doing that. We'll put him straight in his mouth.
Give him some flowers, some petals. Yeah, they'll go in the mouth as well.
Yes,
actually,
everything.
Just give him cookies.
Yeah.
Let him throw cookies at you.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Your parents are so lovely.
You've met them. You met Mum.
I've met your mum and I've met your sister. I love your sister,
special.
Amber. She's a special woman. She does Kind is Cool. So it's just so lovely. I love wearing. I've worn my Kind is Cool shirts so much that they're holy. Amber, if you're listening, I need you.
please send Yvie some new shirts.
Because I love it so much.
It is. It's a great message. It's very important.
Your mum, Amber and your mum I met at Danielle's.
Yeah.
Danielle's gig.
Oh,
and
Danielle DeAndrea. She's just
DeAndre.
unbelievable.
What a great name now.
Isn't
She's,
it?
like, talk about
DeAndrea.
taking a married name.
Yes.
Because she used to be Danielle Gaha,
Yes,
which
that's
was
right.
what we always knew her as.
Absolutely, yeah.
She, to me, is the most underrated Australian
Oh,
singer.
absolutely she is. She's
Like-
just incredible. Her voice is next level.
Next
and
level.
her musical talent. I mean, she did a song recently. How does it go? Did you hear that? My new record, it's called.
Oh, yes.
It is.
Yes, it's incredible.
Oh, gets me so excited.
Sing it again. How does it go?
My new record's gonna turn you on.
You sound a bit like her when you do her
A
voice.
little bit. I mean, I was so young with Danny, and I probably kind of looked up to her a little bit as a singer.
A little bit of an influence.
Yeah, took a little bit from her. I think so.
When you did Australia's Got Talent, you won that. How old were you? 12?
I was 12.
So you knew Danny then? Like, did
I didn't know Danny until I was, let me think, I must have been about 15.
Oh, what a shame
So I was
you
a
didn't
little
have her in
older.
your corner.
Yes.
You didn't need her, clearly.
Yeah,
but
well, I mean, look, that was the beginning of everything. I was so new, so fresh, everything. I didn't know a whole lot, really. I just kind of went on the show for fun and next minute won it.
won it. Like,
it was wild.
Incredible.
so
How
wild.
was that experience?
If I can remember any of it.
Yeah,
'cause it
it's a
feels
while
like
ago
a really
now.
long time ago. I just remember it being so much fun. It was tough as well.
Was it?
One of the first episodes I remember, there was Red Simons, Danny Minogue and Tom Burlington.
Yes.
So they were the judges. And I mean, they've got these big red crosses in front of you. I'm a 12-year-old, remember, first year of high school. Like, I'm just super vulnerable, just freshy, And I remember Red Simons did the big X. And in the middle of me singing, it was like, you hear it. And
Why
I'm like,
did you do that?
And I'm like, I remember going, oh, God, I just sunk. My soul just sunk,
It's just rejection, isn't it?
Oh, it's pretty brutal. I remember there was a lot of stressful feelings, and then it was also very overwhelming. The crowd got involved. They were like booing, and I was just like, what's going on? And I think it was just the reaction factor. That's what he wanted. That's what he got.
So it was a setup because there's no way
Total
someone would
setup.
X your voice. That's the thing. So
And like
he's
a
done that
12-year-old,
to
come
get-
on, mate.
Yeah, and he was a bad
killing
guy
it.
on Hey Hey. Like, he used to give
He's the
everyone
bad guy.
zeros. So
Yeah.
it was kind of went with it. But behind all of that is a child.
I know,
that
right?
just got rejected.
Yeah. And then
For-
has to react to that. Like, how do you do that, I remember I did definitely cried. I cried on bloody national TV.
I remember you did cry.
It was pretty embarrassing when
no,
I had
it's
to go to high school the next week.
But it's heartbreaking to see a child
It
cry on
is.
TV
I
because it makes it
know.
surreal for you.
Yeah.
But you did win, and
I won.
I remember that you did a lot of like gospel
So much gospel. Yeah.
because
I
that
really-
was the kind of voice you had. So I'm only assuming, you can
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm assuming because you had that kind of voice, that kind of music really allowed you.
That is exactly right. I loved singing gospel. And I think it actually stemmed from Mariah Carey did a Christmas album and she did Jesus, What a Wonderful Child. I mean, look, I actually went to a Catholic school and everything like that, but I was never really a super duper Catholic, you know?
Yeah.
But I loved singing it. I went to church and I loved listening to the music, but I was, it was sort of that.
Yes.
That thing. I loved to sing in church. Didn't go a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
we might have gone, a
Because
couple
that's what
times
I
a
thought.
year.
Seeing you, people would have thought, oh, she's like in a church choir.
Yeah,
but
it was
I was like, no,
It was
she's
an
like.
interesting choice, to be honest, that we did, but I loved that song so much
good.
that I actually fought to do that song.
Oh, that was what I was going to ask you because they would commercially.
They didn't want me to do that. So we actually really had to fight for it, and
you got it.
we got it over the line. And I feel like that was like one of the moments that really showed my ability as a singer,
Absolutely.
It was so funny though because I got a fake tan the week, a couple of days before the show, and I was like, this little gorgeous, white girl, like, white skin, love that, gorgeous. But I went so dark on the tan that I was like, and I'm singing gospel, and it was just, I had like this vibe behind me, and I was
myself.
honestly like the darkest little child. I was like, hang on, wasn't she like a little whitey? But I was like, I'm just going for it, people.
Oh my God, that's
Getting
hilarious.
into the song a little too much.
Well, no, you do have an Indigenous grandfather, so
I do.
it's in you, the dark skin. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
certainly
yeah.
weren't blackfacing
He used to
yourself.
say to me all the time, he's like, you got to black soul. And I was like, I actually thought that I was black as a kid. Because he just told me all the time. And I was like,
because you
obviously
sang
looking in the mirror,
black music.
but all I wanted to be was like him.
Yeah.
Totally, I did.
Of course you did, and you would. And you had this voice that was kind of like, there's not a lot of white singers that sing like a black woman.
Oh, yeah. I guess I just wanted that, because that's what I grew up with, Aretha, and Whitney Houston.
Whitney.
Honestly,
because remember when she
singers,
did Preacher's Wife,
yes,
the movie, and I listened to that soundtrack. That was like, I have always listened to Whitney Houston, but that soundtrack got like the disc would just be thin.
Oh
by
yeah,
now. I played it so many times.
Unbelievable! I actually did a show on the weekend. It was an 80s themed
yes,
show, and it was really fun. It was really awesome, and we did a bunch of, I did a lot of a bit of Tina Turner, Aretha, and it just makes me feel so happy when I'm up there singing that stuff.
That you love to sing more than anything. And like, do you have a Bobby song? And
we just make up songs for Bobby.
Oh,
but look, I think what would be my all-time favourite?
If you had to go into karaoke right now, and
it would actually be Moulin Rouge.
Okay.
I just love singing that.
That's so good.
Yeah, that's my karaoke
yeah,
song.
Yeah.
Good, yeah. Yeah, that was a good one.
Chocolate, I like it. God, I sound like such a dag of a woman. My God. Okay, so you won money on Australia's Got Talent.
Yes.
What'd you do with it? How much is it?
What'd I get? 250,000.
Holy shit, that's a lot of money.
I took my friends to Macca's all the time. That's what we did. Year 7 at school. It's like, guys, don't worry, I got you.
Flurries are on me, baby. But do you have to pay half of it that goes in tax? Like,
no,
do you know?
Winnings are tax-free. So, yeah, I mean, that's
amazing.
Pretty cool.
So that is amazing. Did you help your parents out, or did you keep it?
Look, I did. I mean, I did a lot for my career, though. Like, that really helped with. I did a lot of traveling. Yeah. Spent a lot of years in LA. I bought instruments. I paid for my bands for years. So when I was starting off, I'd do shows, and there's no way I could afford to pay my band because I wouldn't get that much money. I mean, I might get $200.
Yeah.
And I'm paying them $300, $400, whatever it is each, and I'd have a band of 7. So I actually spent my money, to try and...
So you were at a loss performing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is what you have to be. That's why you get a record label.
Yes, absolutely. So look, in a way, I was so lucky to have that money as backup to pay for my career. And it really paid off. I mean, it was a long period of time where I was doing shows, and I wasn't signed until I was about 16. So 12 to 16, I was really just going around trying to get venues to book me, trying to find the right people to be in my band, just have the right team around me, write songs. So that was the beginning for me. And that was when I really started to hustle and, really, it sort of cemented that I wanted to do that. I wanted to be an artist. Yeah. That's what Australia's Got Talent did for me.
Right.
Which was really cool. And I mean, even after the show, winning that money, record labels did come to me and say, we would love to sign you, blah, blah, blah. But I don't remember how we really figured this out, but we actually decided not to sign then and there because I remember Mum and we were all talking and we just thought, too young.
Yeah, and they'll control you and they'll make you be something you're not.
Absolutely.
I think, the fact that you had that money behind you allowed you, as you know, to
have a bit more
do it
control
yourself and make your own decisions.
Absolutely.
Because that's all they do is they give you the money, and because they give you the money, you got to pay them back.
That's right.
And you are so contracted to do exactly what they want you. And I still don't. And I can see why record labels are on the decline. They're still just filled with old men, old white men making decisions for artists that haven't got
it's wild.
I do get the Michael Gudinski's, the eye.
Yeah, he's
to
amazing.
Spot the talent. He's incredible. But don't tell them what to do. Yeah. And there's too much of that happening, and it's starting to change, and I'm really glad it is.
Well, it is, and you can look at it and go, wow, it's actually a really cool world the way it is now, because we have got social media. Yeah. Social media is great, and it can be really, really shitty as well, but it's so good for people to be able to have a voice, be able to be who they want to be as an artist or as whatever they want to do. That's the cool thing about now. Back when I started, I was still really young. Even 16, I think I was probably a bit young. But I signed a record deal and I was just putting out songs that I didn't really even like. I wrote them, but I didn't even really believe in them. I didn't know who I was as an artist.
Yeah.
I was singing, one country song, then I was singing a pop song, then I was singing a soul song. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And because I wasn't super strong in making those decisions, I was just kind of being guided. And that was, that's what I obviously needed at that time. But if I look back, I probably was a bit young.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important
but
to
you
know
could have been a
who
lot
you want to
younger,
be.
so it's good that
exactly.
you were at least 16.
That's my story, and that's what happened. But it's now. Look, I wouldn't regret a thing. I love the person I am now, and I love my life.
You went from singing to acting.
I did. It was really cool. Acting.
Did they come to you?
No, it was actually my management. They said, why don't we just go and audition? I was actually never really a fan of doing like a soap.
Yep.
But oh my goodness, I'm glad I did because it was amazing. It was so incredible to be a part of Neighbours.
It's an amazing show.
It's so great. The people, what you learn.
Yeah, what you learn.
What you learn is the best part about, I was on the show for 3.5 years. So it was actually a crazy story because I auditioned about 3 times, I think, over maybe 3 years or something. I didn't get the third one even. And then they actually contacted me and said, right, you kind of look a little bit like Jodie Gordon.
Yeah.
So we're going to create a character for you. So that's what happened. The characters I actually auditioned for, they weren't right for me, and then they created a character.
Because you do kind of look like, and you were sisters on the show.
Yeah, we were sisters on the show. And we had similarities.
Good casting.
It was good. And
really good.
Man, we just had the best time. She's a really special friend to me.
Very talented.
She's great. She's a great actor.
Very good actor.
Really, really good.
And everyone on that show, like from, the older characters that have been around, like the absolute wealth of knowledge that you would have got.
Oh, man.
But the crew...
the crew have been around for so long and everyone's super talented. They've all done so many different things in their careers and it was just awesome for me. As a first-time actor, it was super scary because I was like, oh, my God, how do I do this?
And it moves fast, doesn't it? Like there's not many takes. You got to get it and go.
And learning a script,
5 shows.
I struggle to even remember my own lyrics of my own songs.
Yeah.
So I was like, how am I going to do this? How possibly can I remember all of these scenes?
How do you?
If something happens, you just read over. What I do is I just read it, and then write it out.
Yep.
I write it out. And then I was like learning them just the night before in the end because your brain just switches on.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would
because
be absolutely
the panic
hopeless
sets
now.
in. And but you wouldn't because it would come out again.
Yeah, for sure.
The pressure would come on and you would have to learn lines and, because you're letting down people if you don't.
Well, you would never go on set and not know your words.
No.
I mean, it's just a big no-no because you're right. There's so many people involved and you're letting them down.
And you've also you've got a little bit of competitiveness too because you're doing scenes with people that are really good. And you're like, I want to be that good.
Yeah, and it's a bit embarrassing. Like I'll be honest, I've definitely forgotten a few of my lines before and it's absolutely mortifying and you feel like shit. So you're like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. Yes. I really need to know my stuff before I walk on set.
Yeah. It's respectful, isn't it? To come to your job prepared.
So respectful.
So, and it's funny because the older an artist gets, sometimes they get to that point where they're just like, I can turn up at any time. And it's
totally.
Like, they can, but everyone hates them and they don't even know it. So,
sometimes that does happen, yes.
Yeah, and you don't want to be that person. Never be that person because you know of the really famous people, whether they be singers or actors, who are still so incredibly professional that they have reputations.
And those are the special ones.
Yeah, and people always say, oh, there's nothing like working with her.
Yeah.
Because she's just still a true professional. She knows everyone's names.
Yes.
She turns up on time. Rachel Griffiths, I've heard, is like that. And when she was on House Husbands, there was a scene that was set up, I heard, and the camera was down on the ground and she was crawling on the ground. So the camera was going to be pretty much up her hoo-ha.
Right.
And Rachel Griffiths, wasn't even her scene, but she was there. And she went, no, hang on. Why? It was Natalie Saliba. Do you remember Natalie Saliba, the actor?
I might know the face. I'm a face person.
And she said, why is the camera angle there? And they said, because she's crawling along the ground. They said, but she said, she really went into bat and went,
wow, that's
why
incredible.
Is it there? Like, what is that? Does it have something to do with the story, the premise? What, like, is it going to come, something's going to fall out? Like, why that particular, or are you just getting a little bit of a raunchy shot because you can, and this girl is not going to say no. And she's like the people I've heard it from were, on set and just went, watching a woman do that
and stand up for another woman,
and said to her, it's not your fault. You don't think you have, and you probably don't have the mettle to tell these people off and say, I don't want a camera up my hoo-ha.
No, absolutely not.
Let's get it. And they reshot it from the side on.
I love that.
So it's amazing that you hear about these kind of stories and they're so inspiring.
Yeah. Jackie Woodburn's someone like that. She's just this strong force of nature, this strong woman on set always, and she knows her words. She knows exactly what the story is about, and she'll know everyone else's story as well, not just hers. And she's the same sort of thing. Like she'll
up.
look at what's going on, how they're setting it up, and she'll go, she won't always interfere, but if she needs to, she just does, and she's always right.
And Deborah Lawrence is like that as well.
I love Deborah. She was my mum on Neighbours.
Was she?
She was my mum. She was very not lovely on Neighbours. She was like the meanest mum ever.
Great actress though. But she's like a matriarch as well. She'll look out for you and she'll stand up for herself. And
yes. Well, she was Jackie Woodburn's sister on the show.
Wow.
So there you go.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm
going
to have to go back and watch all the old.
Yeah.
What do you think of it coming back? Like it's back.
It's great. I mean, how amazing for everyone.
It's so good. But it's so funny that we just all mourned it. We really grieved.
And I was like, wait, what? What did we do that for?
Next minute, I was like, I cried actual tears over that last bloody episode.
I know.
Would your character be able to come back?
Well, I know. Maybe. I mean, look, there is.
And it wouldn't matter if she was.
That I could. I know, that's exactly right.
That's the best thing about a soap.
Yeah. I did go back for leave? I left just because I think it was 3.5 years. I had my time up, I thought I want to do more music.
Yep.
And that was the main reason. I just had enough. I was ready to. It's very time consuming. It's hard for me to travel, do music.
Yeah.
It was even hard to just have one day off and do writing or anything like that. It was just like,
because it's a long show. It goes all year because of the
all
UK.
Year round. Yeah, it goes through Christmas.
You can't get it tight. Like, another part of a career would really be put on hold.
And you've got to kind of just give 100% to whatever whatever you're doing at that point in time. And I feel like with something like Neighbours, you just got to give it 100% if you're doing it. I couldn't, and when I was, releasing music, I really was really lucky. My character was a singer on the show as well. So I got to kind of release music through the show and that was awesome. But there was only so much I could do.
So much, yeah. So Delta would have been the same. Like, being a singer started there and that would have had to go, well, now if I'm going to be a singer, I'm going to have to, they can do as much as they can. But
yes. Yeah, she did. She did really good too. That was awesome for her.
And you got to sing the theme song.
I did.
Of Neighbours.
Like, it was such an honour.
Is everything.
No, it really was though.
Yeah,
it was actually, when I got asked, I thought, oh God, this is a real honour.
Honour.
I mean, that song has been around for a long time. But it was also very, they wanted it how they wanted it. And it was like, I could have done so many other things. But you've got to... It's a big deal for them as well.
You got to commercialise your voice too,
absolutely.
don't you?
I had to be very
not
pop.
bonify it.
It wasn't very Bonnie at all.
Yeah.
But
it's a straight singing.
So straight. It was almost hard for me to sing.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's hard for people who do so many acrobatics with their vocals to actually drive straight.
So hard. And without vibrato, they'd say to me, just take the vibrato back a little. I'm like, wow, that is hard. You have no idea how hard that is. And that's kind of like my look, now I would, be a bit more like, that's me. If you want me to sing it, I'm going to sing it kind of like that. But also have respect with, with, let's meet somewhere in the middle,
Yes.
Well, I think that's important.
They're asking a name to sing the song, not a session singer who has to change their voice and they can do it but also like a theatrical music singer, like they have to be able to change their voice as well. And I saw that you did a Chicago song.
I did. Yeah, that was really cool. We had a gig a few weeks ago up in Queensland and I did a Chicago song.
I think you would be great as Roxy.
Yeah.
Or Velma.
Well, it was so weird because when I was doing that show, I had lots of other theatre people. Like we had Rhonda Birchmore and I had Rob Mills and they were like, man, we're going to get you in theatre. We're going to get you in theatre, which I love theatre.
Well,
I love
day, you're only 29.
Yeah. It's funny because I've always been a bit like, do I love it? I love going, but I'm like, will I love doing a show every single day like that. But I think if it's the right one,
yeah, that's
man,
right. Like, and
awesome.
Juliet, something like that.
So cool. Yeah, Rob's in that, right?
Yes,
Rob Mills, yeah.
and Casey, and just singing
so
Max
good.
Martin songs constantly. Like the whole show, they call these shows jukebox musicals,
Yes.
because they really do encourage the audience to sing along.
It's so
Whereas
good.
there's a lot of on TikTok they're showing people now who are being told to be quiet.
Oh, in the audience,
Not in the jukebox musicals, in things like gigs like Billie Eilish or, they're like, I have just paid $700 to come to see this person sing and all I can hear is you. And they're shaming people now. Like,
Just stop singing.
Just stop singing.
I think that's horrible.
I'm really torn because I've been that person next to someone or in front of someone who all I can hear
Really?
is
See,
their
I would not
out of
give an
tune
absolute shit
voice.
about that.
I've never said anything. I've never said
Oh, I
anything.
can hear someone singing. Oh my God, it's so out of tune.
But when you go to see Les Mis and someone's going, I dreamed a dream, and you're like, holy shit, I can't hear Jean Valjean anymore.
Oh, but you know what? As an
I know.
artist, as like a performer, I did a show last weekend and everybody in the audience was singing and there was no greater feeling than being on stage and singing to people and they're singing back at you. You know, that is a beautiful moment. But I get what you're saying.
It? Lord told. There's video of her telling
The audience
everyone to
stop singing.
shush, because she was doing something a cappella, and she was like,
And she couldn't keep the tempo or something.
Well, I just don't think she liked it. She's like, you're here to see me. I mean, and that's an ego thing, but
Whoa.
I mean, I think that's a bit far. But at the
I don't
same
think
time,
that would ever come
I used
into
to
my
go and
mind to tell people to stop singing.
No. I used to go
Wow.
and watch a guy called Vince Jones, my favourite jazz artist. He's
Right.
Australian. And I used to watch him all the time. I'm like at the basement.
Yeah, unreal. Love
in
that.
Circular Quay. And if you talked in the audience, he'd go, hey, cats, y'all need to calm down a little bit. I'm the one singing here. And we'd all go, oh, my God. Because that was back in the day when you'd be drinking and smoking at your table. So you just start chatting and he
I don't think I feel so uncomfortable doing that. I don't know if it's just because I'm like the nice gal. I don't know.
You feel a bit like a teacher, wouldn't you? Everyone.
Yeah, like
I'm talking here.
That just might be the way they like to enjoy music,
I think that's
I don't
why
know.
the jukebox musical is doing so well because it's so encouraging everyone to stand up and sing.
Absolutely,
Like,
that's
this is
so
like
interesting. I didn't even know that. There you go,
There you
Yvie.
go.
You're teaching me a lot of things today. I mean, it's getting crazy.
Why did you do SAS?
Why? That is a really good question. Mate, it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But 6 months on after the fact, when I did it, I was the best version of myself.
Mentally,
Honestly, I think that probably changed me for the better, that show.
Wow.
It's really crazy to think because when I left the show, all I wanted to do was leave it. As soon as I got there, I thought, what on earth am I doing here? But, as you do it, as you carry on, whatever goes on, there's so much. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like you're getting thrown out of things, you're hurting yourself, you're getting screamed at, you're getting sworn at, you're just doing these crazy, outrageous things you would never do in a million years.
Yeah.
And,
it
it's
looks
terrifying.
freezing.
It's freezing cold, terrifying. You're always on edge, like you're anxious the whole time. I was just like a ball of anxiety, which I hate. I don't like that. No one likes that, right? But all I wanted to do was leave. I ended up finally, they allowed me to leave on the 7th day. So I did 7 days.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. People did longer than that and they were amazing.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
at that
But you're not an
stage,
athlete.
I'm not an athlete. It was more mental though for me. But athletes have a different mental
But that's what it is.
game
That's what
as
makes
well.
them
It's crazy.
great at their game is that it's mental. They get the mental
It's
stuff.
actually
You have to-
unbelievable. They are so incredible. The people that and that's another thing you learn from them. And they, I'm like a singer and an actor. Like I'm a bit,
Creative.
emotions were like coming out of me like you would not believe. I was like, and I'm not that emotional, but I can absolutely feel. I feel things, you know. So when I left, I was really quite a mess. I actually went and spoke to a life coach and spent, I think it was like maybe 8 weeks or a little longer with a life coach and doing a lot of work, a lot of personal self-work.
growth,
and it was growth, But
it's so good.
It was so good. Yvie,
Finding out who you are.
It wasn't. It really, I went like right back.
No wonder where you are is where you are right now. Look, you're just so incredibly happy and successful in so many ways.
Yeah.
Not just a career.
It's nice to talk about this stuff because you go, well, hang on a minute. I did do a bit of work and I did throw myself right in the deep end with SAS, which was horrible, but then it turned out to be actually a bloody awesome thing for me.
Yeah.
And also like little lessons I learned from that is, you can keep going. You can push yourself further. You are so capable, which I often would think I wasn't. I'd go, no, I can't do that before I could actually realize, actually you can, Bonnie. You can totally do that and so can everyone else. Like really just like breathe and just go through it because if you just break down that barrier.
Yeah, it is a barrier, isn't it? It's
Man,
a mental
you feel
barrier.
Good. You feel so good, honestly.
Yeah. It's something that everyone should kind of have because people watch that show and they're like,
no way,
I need to just do this, which I guess is what boot camp is, and all of those kind of rough mutter and tough
Totally.
Tough, I don't know any of these things, but the pushing, it's the pushing the barriers.
It is breaking down that wall. Just, the fear, overcoming a fear it's a pretty incredible feeling.
And then you bring that into your everyday life.
Yeah.
Because you've got it and you've proven it and you can do it.
Little things like there was one thing that one of the SAS guys said, and it was, I can't remember exactly, but it was like you can keep going kind of thing. It was like, just keep running or just, I can't remember.
Finding Nemo, just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. But it's on his page and he's an incredible, they're all incredible. Ant was someone that I looked up to and I thought, God, I had a lot of respect for him and I felt like I was letting him down and, if I wanted to leave, I was like, no, I really want to make him proud. It was almost like a dad figure. It was quite gorgeous, but even though he was yelling at me. But there was one thing that now I still keep those little things in my head with simple things like, a gig or going for a run around the block. Like I know I can just keep going a little further. That's right. So just a little further, he says.
Yes.
A little further. Each time you think you can't, just a little further. Just a little further.
Taking each step, they say, a step at a time.
Yeah.
There's so much in it.
Yeah.
I always say to people like who are like have depression or have some kind of a stress, just be in the moment right now and just take care of the moment right now and the next hour.
Yes.
And if you can do that, then do that in the next hour. Don't worry about 2 hours down the track. Like just
that's right.
So I guess in that kind of a moment where it's physical, it's just like just this step, just this step. If I can do this step,
that's so right.
Take care of the next step
because you do always look ahead and you forget about the moment that you're in right now.
It's so large,
absolutely.
It's so overwhelming, and it happens in physical, mental, emotional, spiritually. Things are so massive that if you just learn to reduce and focus on that one step, then you can
focus on the next step,
and then you get
the next.
And that's all you have to do.
Just break it down.
It's just one day, or just take care of today.
Yes.
Don't worry about tomorrow. The Eckhart Tolle, a friend of mine, has just started reading The Power of Now, and she was like, "Is this good?" And I'm like, "Oh, I was like your age when I first read it."
Wow.
And
The Power of Now.
The Power of Now.
Okay,
and
maybe
I
I need to
saw
read this.
him in concert, like. He was at the convention centre in Darling Harbour.
Who wrote
His name's Eckhart Tolle. He's
right.
I think German or Swedish, or he's from Europe. And it's hilarious. Like I've taken it now, and I went so hard on it at the time that I've kind of, pulled back on it now, as you do, because you go through your phases.
Well, then you pick the bits that you'll keep.
And I still, and the one thing he said in his concert was that he said, if you have pets, you're very lucky because they're the best teachers of being in the moment.
I love that.
They forgive you immediately. They forget immediately. They move on immediately. They enjoy things immediately. If they like something or if they're upset, they'll let you know straight away. That's why you never, ever, and this is for everyone listening, you never berate.
Yes, I think I knew
do
where
it
you
in
were
the
going.
moment. And that's it, because they've forgotten it.
This is my dad.
1 minute later.
If you keep telling them, they're just like, they think,
what are you talking about?
Telling me off about
I'm not
now?
doing anything now. And you are now telling them off for being good.
Yes,
because they're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's how quick they move through the now.
Yes.
And he taught me so much in that. But the funniest thing, I have to say, because it made me laugh so much, it was just such a wank. I love a wank. I love like people that just like are that serious about what they do.
Yeah, totally.
But the guy that came out first to do the housework, house cleaning, just got a bit of housekeeping.
Oh, that's right. The housekeeping.
Everyone turn your phones off. Everyone do your bloody thing. He said, okay, now, just before Eckhart comes out, he has a few rules, blah, 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 blah. But one of them is you are not to applaud him. You're just not to applaud him. He doesn't believe in it.
Oh.
He doesn't think it serves the ego.
It's necessary.
It only serves the ego. It doesn't serve the soul. He said he's just not into it, so no one's
bloody
allowed.
love an applause.
And
Just
remember,
quietly.
and that's your ego. Eckhart would be going, that's your ego talking.
Wow.
That's all. See, if you really love what you do, you wouldn't need the applause.
Interesting.
what a
but
lo-
also
that's
like
why I
humbling
take-
as well. Sometimes you go, and also take a compliment every now and then.
Yes, but that's why I've taken a little bit of what he says now with a grain of salt, because I got right into it and then I was just like, oh, off. Like, that's a wank. Like, honestly, not so. Because at the end, I just wanted to rebel and clap, but I thought,
of course
I'm
you
going to
would.
get told off. But it
So
was
at the end, there was no applause.
He just walks off the stage and everyone goes,
oh, that's
like, you are.
weird.
It is like champing at the bit. Everyone wanted to do it.
Yeah.
We're like, and then we all just started.
You looked at each other like,
So as soon as I walked out, I went, I just got it out.
yeah, you got to get it out.
Got it out.
Wow, that's
It's
very
bizarre.
That would have been the weirdest experience.
It was the weirdest
But I do agree
experience.
with a lot of things that you said. I mean,
Yeah.
that would be very interesting.
Well, you must read it. Let me know what you think. Although, pop it on audiobook and
listen in the car.
Listen in the car, because it
Yeah.
is. You will get such amazing things from it, and you will, because you've done the SAS stuff.
Yes.
You've done the mental, and that's what this is all about, the mental and being in the now. But not only that, like serving the soul, not the ego.
Well, what I was just thinking is you were in the jungle.
Yeah.
So it's
With
sort of a similar thing, you know? Like there's a lot of challenges there though, right? A lot of mind things.
A lot, and and that's why while you were talking, I was thinking, I had to push through my comfort barrier, because I'm an indoor person. I love my creature comfort.
Yeah.
I would marry my air conditioner if I could, kind of thing. Like, so when you're sleeping outdoors, on a cot.
With insects and
all, and you're just uncomfortable all the time.
Yeah.
You have to push through, and you can do it. Like, it's amazing what I learnt. I stayed right to the end, and it took me half the time of trying to control my narrative there, trying to control.
Yeah.
And when I finally gave in, I had the best time. I really enjoyed myself.
Right. So you mean you had a bit of a guard up in the beginning? Is that what you mean?
Not a guard on my personality. A guard on don't tell me when I have to go to bed. Don't tell me when I have to go to the bathroom.
Right.
Or, you've got this window. So when you all sit down with the cameras on, which is weird because when you're working, you like that anyway. It's just like, no, I can't shut down all of a sudden, like right now and go, I've got a wee, so I'll be back in a second.
Yeah. That's right.
Somehow I thought that they were controlling me. But it was they try to with your brain a bit, and they do that on purpose.
Oh my God.
But it was the don't take the food from me. I have such a problem with disordered eating that I decided years before not to do diets. All of a sudden you're on an eating regime, which is an eating
mental game.
It's a mental game.
Same with SAS. We had hardly any food, and that breaks you down. You feel emotional. You're tired. It's all of that.
Yeah, and you're coming off stuff.
Yeah, sugars.
I came off everything except for bread before I went in because I knew I didn't want to do it on camera. Didn't want to do the caffeine or the sugar, like the refined, adding sugar. While I was in there, I didn't want to come off it, but I could not stop. I had bread the night before I went in. I was like, and she was like, I'm not eating it.
What did you eat in there?
We had oats in the morning.
Yep, same.
Tiny little amount of oats.
Was it horrible?
With water, not even with
Yeah. Oh, ours was the same. Oh.
And rice at lunch.
Right, okay.
And then rice at dinner and vegetables and meat if you want it.
Oh,
and there was times we didn't. So, or it was not given to us because we were being punished.
Yes,
that was
of
the
course.
Stuff I struggled
Then you'd
with.
be like, oh, yeah, you just
and they wouldn't be my fault. That was the other thing that you have to learn to let go of when something that you've done or you haven't done and other people are getting you punished for.
Yes, right.
So we had like all these people, which I didn't even know. Me and Angie were so green going into the jungle. We'd only been on Gogglebox, which isn't a set.
Right.
It's not working with anyone.
Yes.
You're in your own home. So we didn't know anything.
Oh,
And
wow. Yeah, that was like the beginning.
It was right. It was the first thing we did straight out of that. And everyone brought in, except for us, contraband. Which is hilarious. They kind of push you to do it because it's funny.
Right.
You know, had I known,
Oh, yeah.
I would have strapped, sugar to my guts, and I would have had wine on my leg like a
I know,
cask.
the drinking's the hard part. Oh my God.
But
Man.
we weren't told. So they bring in an amnesty bowl, and they're like, "Everyone, we know you've got contraband. We're going to give you 1 hour." No, you've got 10 minutes to put everything into
So they pat you down and go, right, you guys.
No, they
okay,
didn't.
right,
And that's
right,
what I thought they were deadly serious about not taking anything in. That
You took it literal.
Yeah,
don't want to get in trouble.
So everyone was eating all the contraband. Like we were pouring in granules of gravy. Bloody AJ brought in
Holy shit, man.
Actually, we didn't. She was the only one that she was pouring in her. And we're like, what are you got no water in that? What are you doing? But no, we were pouring in sugar sachets.
Yeah, right.
We were pouring, like eating protein bars and things like that. And
Yeah,
so
wow.
we didn't have to put them in the amnesty bowl because they said you've got like 10 minutes. You either eat it all, and then we didn't get dinner that night.
Oh, got you.
So when you
is
come around,
funny.
you've had a sugar high, so how hungry
you're
you are
crashing
after
too,
you've
after.
crashed.
Oof.
I went into the tok and said, but I didn't bring in any contraband. So can I have
You
a
were
banana?
just like, can I have some of your contraband, please?
Can I have my dinner? And you're like, no, you're a team.
Oh, that's right.
You're
That's
a group.
exactly what it was like in, SA. It's all about team.
It's all about team.
Even the toilets.
look out
We
for
couldn't
each
go to the
other.
toilet by ourselves. In the middle of the night, if everyone's sleeping and you need to go to the toilet, you have to go, excuse me, can you wake up and come to the toilet with me? Because you get in trouble.
Oh my God. So yeah, you
Because
have to look out for it.
It was so... Like, it was so real to what they do. A lot of it was just, this is
that's
how
what
we do
everyone
it.
knows that about that. Do you want to know something funny about that show?
Tell me.
When it first started to be talked about,
Yeah.
it was touted in the industry as the New Zealand version of It's a Knockout. Or which is an old 80s show where it's a knockout. And it was like kind of an audience member Ninja Warrior. Like it was just people on phone stuff getting knocked off. And I was like, I could do that. Or Who Dares Wins. It was kind of like a Who Dares Wins.
Yeah.
So I rang my manager and said, am I being put up for the Who Dares Wins SAS thing? And she goes, no, you couldn't do that. And I went, I could do that. I could do that. I could do Who Dares Wins. And she was like, it's not like Who Dares Wins. And I went, well, what is it? And she goes, here. And she sent me a thing. I'm looking at it while I'm on the phone to her. I went, oh,
And you know what? It's so much worse than on paper.
So much
worse
I've
than
heard
what you
it's
see on the
so
telly.
bad.
It's just like,
Yeah,
you
they
can't
don't
even
show
imagine.
the bad stuff,
No,
do they?
it's full time. There is no break. No break to go, can I just have a second off camera, or can I have a second just to have a breather? No, man. Like you are on at all times. As soon as we've mic'd up, they said to us, as soon as you're mic'd up tomorrow morning or whatever, you are this. It's
on.
And we don't have our phones for the 3 days pre being mic'd up. Like it's so, and even that's like
that's
detoxing
hard.
from social media, your
that was
family,
another
your
one.
friends. You would know.
You got no pen, no paper, no nothing, no
Nothing.
information. Like, well, that's what the SAS. Like, you go to war, you don't know anything.
Oh yeah,
you get delivered.
Oh my gosh! And what
news.
about me? This is hilarious, right? So everyone says, right, you got to wear black undies underneath your thing, and I said, whatever, I'll just wear. I like this comfy underwear. It's like a beige. Man, I wore beige bra. I was the only one. The first thing they did was tell us to get undressed. I'm like, fuck. No. And I was like, that's why they told us to wear black bra and undies. I've got a G-string. Yes, a G-string that's nude colour and this horrible, nudie bra. And then they told us to take my clothes off. I was like, do I?
Oh, no.
Took it off, and then we're running and everyone's behind me with my G-string and I'm like, it was so embarrassing. The only one.
Was that on TV? Or
Yes. It was on TV. I was like, oh no.
Oh my God,
so
you
mortifying.
poor thing.
But of course, I'm
But
just
this
an
is
idiot,
why we got to listen to,
Just,
But we can't help it, can we?
follow instructions,
We've got
Bonnie.
to have our own control
And
over
I
things.
thought, oh, whatever, I like this
Yes.
bra. I didn't think anyone was going to say it. Basically, like in these granny undies, you know, like it wasn't a sexy G-string, mind you. It was just not.
But a G-banger in any sense, someone's running behind you, they've just got cheeks. It's all just got cheeks.
Just clapping together.
Oh, my God. Oh, wow. So what is next for you? Like, I know what your life is. What's your career?
Career next is mostly music. So we built a studio in my home.
Oh, I saw
which
it.
is very lovely. That was the first thing we built, actually. Sam was like, right, I'm building you a studio. You've got a space. Do your thing. And it's been the best thing for me just to have a space, have an environment to, just escape.
Yes.
And I just want to write. Got to write music, more music. That's what I'm doing, working on that. Next year is a new year again. It's bloody coming up so quickly. This year I've been enjoying being a mum. It's been the most incredible thing. Been my favourite year yet, and next year's going to be even better.
Yeah.
And more music.
When you won Masked Singer.
Yes.
I knew it was you immediately.
I thought you would.
And I even DM'd you. I know that's you.
Yeah,
and
I
you
remember.
just sent me back an emoji of a wink.
Did I? Is that what I did? So subtle.
So, yeah. And I was like, well, she hasn't said it, so she can't get in trouble. And it could mean, am I?
Yeah.
So, I knew,
it's open, isn't it?
It was just like, if you know this voice, that's what I love about the Masked Singer so much is that
it's a good
you
game.
hear the voices.
I want to know so bad.
So bad. But you were like it was like you sing like it's a recording. Like, when people sing and and it's just this
live.
pitch perfectness there. It was like, is that auto-tune? No, like she's singing live and that's really, really good. Do you remember the very last song you sang?
The very last song was it Kelly Rowland?
Yeah.
When love takes over. Yeah. Yeah. No, you can't deny when love takes over. Yeah. I love that song.
Oh, my God.
Tonight. And the fireworks and like me dancing in that outfit was absolutely crazy. Couldn't see anything.
You're the Bushranger.
How cool was the Bushranger? And I was like flicking the jacket around. It was so much fun.
Oh God, it was so good. Like it was just
Yeah.
The Masked Singer, all you hear is the voice, and that's what I love. Like I get so distracted by people's performances.
Totally.
That I just love to listen to the voice and go, oh God, that's so good. Like,
and
was that a good experience? It looked.
Honestly, Yvie, it was really cool. It's bloody weird.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
The
Well,
whole
Korean shows are weird.
Yeah, and it did. That's a Korean
That's
show.
where it came from.
And
yeah.
which is so cool that we brought it here because it is really different to anything we've done before.
And everyone that does it says that's one of the best things I've ever done. Like my kids love it because everyone loves that show.
Oh, and how can you not?
And
it's
imagine
colourful,
when
it's
you can show
lighthearted.
Bobby. You have to wait till he's a bit older and then show him the whole show right from the beginning.
Yes,
just as a
and I
show
won't
you
even
watch
tell him
together.
it's me.
Yeah, just as a show you watch together.
Yes.
He'll know your voice though. He'll go, Mummy,
Is that you? And I'll say no.
is that you? I don't know. It's a Bushranger, Bobby. What do you think that's me? Hang on.
Oh,
and you know what?
That's the cool part for people that had kids and you know you watch it
and
together.
That's why
it's great.
People do it for that. Like Pia Miranda did it for that reason.
Yes.
And like Matt Preston and like they say, like even not Jason Statham.
That'd be cool if it was.
Vinnie Jones did it. And he was just like, why wouldn't I?
I interviewed him. Yeah. Because I did like some interviewing. Yeah, and he was a really interesting character. I loved just getting to Anastasia. I did her as well. She's my favourite.
Oh, my God. Was it down to her and Kate Miller on that season? I think it was Kate Miller Heidke, like two
Anastasia, was she one of your favourites? I feel like she was back in the day.
Everything. Like I'm Out of Love was my favourite song.
Love that
I
song.
travelled with that song. Like just, you always remember songs and music that you travel with or backpack. Like that was my second big travel solo.
Yes.
And that song was everywhere.
And that was a big song then. Oh, she's so good. And that voice she just carried. Oh, she's so soulful again.
Man,
she's got
There's
the soul.
another, her and Taylor Dane, they were the only kind of white singers of my day that were real. Well, Taylor Dane was back, and God, she was an amazing singer.
Yes.
She did the American Masked Singer.
There you go.
So I'd love to get a few of the Americans over because
Yeah.
people, if you want a holiday to Australia, what a perfect idea to do
Totally,
it. Like
and it kind of throws you a bit more because, you know, with it
Yes.
being Australian, you're like, okay, so we've got a handful of people here. We can, you know, but when they're from overseas, you're like, wait, who is this?
Yes,
Which
and it's
they
funny
do
'cause we
that.
had
They
Brian
bring
Austin Green from our. Oh, that's right. We've had 3 episodes so far because I was saying Sandra
Yes.
Sally last week and Brian Austin Green the first week. It was so funny on Twitter. Everyone's like, "Who the is that?" And it's like it's David Silver from 90210.
I have no idea who that is either. Am I too young?
Yeah, he was going out with Tori Spelling on the show. Donna, come on,
right.
everyone. No, he's married
Rachel,
to.
no.
He was married to Megan Fox for years and years and years.
Oh, okay. Well, I know Megan Fox.
See,
of course.
there you go. And on that note, love does take over, and I'm
yeah.
really glad that you've got the life that you deserve. It's just
Thank you,
so
Yvie.
wonderful to watch everything happen to you, and I adore you to pieces.
I adore you.
Thank
It's been so fun. We've had so many laughs.
I know. My God, please come back.
Thank
again.
you.
And good luck with your wedding. Good luck with everything.
Oh,
and
thank you, yes.
I can't wait to just continue watching you and listening to you.
Love
Thank you so much for
Mwah.
coming.
Thank you.
If you liked the episode, please rate, review, subscribe, all of the things. I love you. I'll be in your ear holes next week. Goodbye.